WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. It is the holidays, and just to prove it, I'm not going to wear my Santa hat for Bill Cole from Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy, but it's still here. It's a very large hat. It's almost celebratory in many ways. I said I wasn't going to wear it, but I'm going to wear it anyway. The little ball goes away because of the green screen being incorrect. But how are you, Bill Cole? Happy holidays to you with the purple hat. I feel like I need this for Lamar or Tyler, Snoop, Josh Johnson, whoever's going to quarterback this week. We'll figure that out, right?
I think that hat
Mm-hmm.
is disturbing enough without the weird green screen effects that just make it even more. I mean, I don't really know how I feel about that hat.
Stink,
Sort of,
stank, stunk.
yes, sort of like how I feel about the team right now, like I've been waiting for, like, you're not supposed to win when you have all the injuries, and we all kind of accept it and think it's cruel and not fair, and we've been outperforming, I think, that everyone would agree. And I don't know, I'm curious what happens to Tyler Huntley, right? Like, guy can play. I mean, I didn't list out all the other quarterbacks on the other 31 or whatever teams, but
Do you think Tyler Huntley? And I'm not gonna be the bad nasty Nestor now, because I'm not taking phone calls this week for this reason, because this would just be stupid all week. Because
right.
you're like the third or fourth friend that's had this stupid 105.7 thing that, like, if you gave him the ball for 16 games, he could go 14-2 2 years ago. I don't,
No,
dude, stop.
no, I don't. No.
And he's a nice
I didn't
kid
say
and
that.
whatever,
I didn't
but
say
like,
that.
come
Hold
on,
on.
dude. I mean, well, these people saying that he's
Don't
Lamar.
turn
I mean,
me
and I'm
into
no
the
Lamar
radio
guy
guy.
in that way, right? I'm not even like, I'm not
Right.
convinced they can win with Lamar, or that this is a good idea, having your quarterback running the linebackers 21 times, right? Like, I don't think
Don't.
that's a good idea. But all that being said, to think that this kid, to take oxygen out of my day to even discuss it, is like crazy to me. That I would have had to sit here for 20 hours this week, 4 hours a day, and explain to people why they wouldn't give him $40 million and why they want to give Lamar $40 million. You haven't been watching the games the last 3 years, bro.
No, and that wasn't where I was going. Don't turn me
Well,
into
that's for
some.
everybody else then.
Don't turn
Fair
me into
enough.
some
I
vicious
haven't had a
nightmare.
tirade like that in me in a while. Let me have it.
Don't,
I got the purple
don't,
Grinch out. We haven't won in a month. Let me be pissed off and act like I care like I used to, because I don't.
right.
Like I used to, you know?
Don't project your hatred onto me. My curiosity is when a guy, because of injury or whatever, goes out and plays, relatively good or okay. Let's just say okay. And there are at least 15 teams who hate their quarterback right now. Like, they're going to call. And I'm curious. I mean, the right thing for the Ravens is to have that dude sitting on the bench for Lamar's entire career. And that,
Okay, right.
that's wildly unfair for that kid to never get a shot to, like, see whether he can do it or not. And
Well, he'll get his shot. I mean, when you hit free agency, somebody says we'll turn our team over to you.
Sure.
Right? That happened for
It's just
Tyrod
fascinating.
Taylor. It's happened a couple times for Tyrod
Yeah,
Taylor.
yeah. That's just the fascinating piece of it, I think, is that, think of the number of guys that we have flushed through the system this year due to injury. I mean, we've launched and killed more NFL careers in the last 3 months than any NFL team has ever done in a single season. Like there are guys who are going to go and have 13-year careers now because they got a chance. And there are guys who probably would have kicked it around for 7 or 8 years, but everyone now sees what they can do, and they may not have a job next year.
Dude, they had Tony Jefferson running around last week.
They did.
I mean, and I love, and Tony's a good guy, and that's probably why they brought him back. But, it's nice to be a good guy. It's another thing to go guard the Bengals this weekend and figure out Joe Burrow this weekend, right?
I was scared for him. If he's been sitting on the couch, that's a pretty intense thing to step into in 2 days.
Well, and he knows because he's played 150 games, right?
Sure.
So, Bill Cole is here. He is a Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy. At some point, my rabbi, my priest, and consigliere, and Santa Claus sometimes too as a sponsor here, of course. Happy Christmas. I mean, are you feeling? It's such a
It is weird.
weird week, weird time. I wanted to go see Billy Joel up in New York on Monday. Tickets were $40 because no one wanted to go, and the COVID
Yeah, it's
thing.
weird.
And I even
Yeah.
thought like if I drove up on my own and didn't do it on a bus or a train, would I want to do it? And then I'm thinking, all right, football game. I'm moving in a couple weeks. I got stuff to do. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't feel like Christmas because I've listened to more Christmas music, boxing stuff with my cat. I've got lights hung up. We have two trees this year, like because we got it. With boxes. It's gonna move it. Hell, take it out and plug it in. It's December. Plug in the
Right.
lights. I mean, see if they work. I got purple rope lights everywhere, right,
All
from
right.
back in 2006. They still work.
All right.
They didn't work to beat the Colts in 2006, but they still work in
Yeah.
2021. So
No, it's
I
definitely
would say
weird.
to you, it's Christmas, but it's not traffic around the mall, chestnuts
Right.
roasting. It's COVID tests, and it's can I go to church? It's my kids got COVID. It's my boss has COVID. It's my football team has
Right.
COVID, or the Browns have COVID. But it's not anywhere. It's everywhere, right? And it's what a plague. The first day we talked about this 21 months ago, it's everything every Dr.
Yeah.
Fauci and scientists told us it was going to be. And, shoot the scientists and be mad at the doctors because this is going to define this Christmas is COVID. One way
I
or
think
another.
so. Yeah, no. I mean, because I got to channel my inner nasty radio station caller. I do want to go on the record and say that I supported going for two in the Steeler game. I was against going for two this past weekend. I just want to
Against
be
it.
on the.
Why? Backup
Well,
quarterback?
no. So
What
in the
did you
Steeler,
like about playing in
yeah.
overtime? That would
So
be,
in
yeah.
so the Steeler game, right? We had injuries, Marlon Humphrey, we had, things were in
On the
disarray.
road.
So yeah, you just got to go for it. This one, I mean, we hung with Green Bay. Like it wasn't like they didn't punt the whole day. And with the new rules of overtime, like you kind of got a pretty good chance you're going to get the ball. And they hadn't really stuffed us. So I'd have taken my chances, right? Good things happen. You get lucky, you get a tip ball, whatever.
Well, I always start with this. Let's start with this. Against every other team in the league, they have the best kicker. So
Sure.
kicking an extra point is far more on the automatic side for them than any other team. I mean, even whoever's second or third best, fair enough. But 15, half of the
Right.
league, the extra point itself isn't as automatic as
Right.
we're just gonna flip a coin and play overtime. We're gonna
Right.
go out there, work hard, hope it's right. It's winter time. Planting a foot in Pittsburgh, planting a foot in Green Bay, Buffalo, Cleveland, Cincinnati this week. Any of these places can be
Right.
problematic, let alone the kicker itself. So I do think there's that. I'll throw that in, and because of
I,
that, the pendulum swings more toward. Well, it's more automatic that we would take overtime. And even if we lose the flip, we've got the fans, except that John realized there were 18,000 Packers fans in the building,
there
too. He
was.
was
Yeah.
surrounded by them. And
Yeah.
this is where if you see Chad Steele, give him a kiss for me because I wasn't in the upper deck. There were Packers fans sitting in my seats that I had no problem selling the tickets to because I've been pretty much uninvited in that way.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of people who gave their tickets up,
There
and
was
it's not
definitely
a
a lot of
one-time thing.
you could hear the Packer fans on TV.
They were
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, you definitely could.
disgraceful. Just, I mean, as a
I don't know.
Baltimorean, as a Ravens fan, as someone for 30
Right.
years that went out of my way on the radio to buy tickets, sell tickets,
Yeah.
move tickets, get Steelers fans out of my seats,
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
it's
And now they're buying
beyond
now
the
they're buying
pall.
ads. Now they're buying ads during the game to try and sell tickets.
Oh, they're on my
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah.
every day trying to sell tickets, and they couldn't have thrown me out of my seat more unceremoniously and uninvited my wife and I from going to games together anymore. So,
That's
that's
weird.
where I am. But then when you have a home field advantage and you have to worry that it might not even be loud enough on Aaron Rodgers, right? Or that if you get the ball, there's going to be 18 because they were all sitting down in the lower bowl.
Yeah.
That now you got a backup quarterback operating against the wind. if Aaron Rodgers goes down or whatever. Being afraid of overtime, right? That would be your point. Your point would
Well,
be more afraid of overtime
yeah,
or
the
sure that you
multiplier,
can win it in regulation. You better be
the
sure you can win.
multiplier, right? The multiplier on the kicking thing that you mentioned is that also means that if we got to line up and kick a 55-yarder, in hopes of winning in overtime, hey, I like our chances better than anyone. So that goes twice. I think like you could make the case um was it this game or last game where we went for two early?
Oh, last game,
Right.
the in between game, yes.
Right. And
The
that
Cleveland road
was
game, yes.
ending the game at the beginning of the fourth quarter or whenever that happened.
8 minutes,
Right?
9 minutes, yep.
Because you knew if you didn't get it, the game was over. Whereas again, if you kick there and you push it down the road, you're going to get another possession, and then you're going to go for two. So why do you want to make like my concern for the like
That was a
everybody
psychological issue. I agree with that. I agree with that.
everybody loves the guy who will go for it, and John has gotten that bravado from the fans. Like we love going on fourth down. We give him a pass every single time, whether it's, I mean, he should have kicked a field goal in the game and went for it at the 5-yard line or whatever it was. Look how important that 3 points would have been later in the game. So my problem is you want the game to be about the players. John right now is making it about him. I think that gets guys fired, but apparently he has the ultimate lifetime pass. So, I mean, these are things that when they go right, yes,
I don't think you
everyone
fire the
celebrates.
coach when you're losing with your backup quarterback and a
I
bunch of guys that were
understand.
on the field in week 2 of the preseason. So,
I
I mean,
understand.
listen, I'm not anti John or even pro John. I'm just like giving real talk here.
Yeah, yeah,
You,
yeah.
you,
And
you
I'm
know,
not
and the
right. I'm not an
owner is
advocate for
absentee. The
that.
owner's gone. The owner's out to lunch.
Right.
He's not in the mood to hire a new coach. He's not in the mood to create swirl. He doesn't care that, there's no media left. He doesn't
Yeah.
care whether the suites are sold. I don't think Steve cares that there's 18,000 warm bodies in there
Right.
wearing Kelly green and gold, which looked good on Dundalk High, by the way, but didn't look so good in the lower bowl of the stadium to me last week. So, and
I'm not advocating John goes. All I'm saying is you're painting a picture of trying to move where the responsibility for wins and losses occurs. And maybe that's, now when I say it like that, it's like, yeah, well, think about it. Do you want your very experienced, loved head coach making these decisions on whether we win or lose? Or do you want the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup, making the decisions on whether we're able to win or
well, you
lose?
haven't even
So
mentioned the play call, which is really what cost them the game because it wasn't the decision to go for two if they had a successful, if they felt really strong about the play, if they felt like it was a 70% play, right? That they had some
I think it was a
advantage
horrible play.
tactically. It was a horrible play. They cut the field
Yeah,
by 2/3.
right, right.
Like they
I mean,
literally.
the rollout pass is effective in high school because you're scared to even let your kid throw, right? And he doesn't have the arm strength to throw it from the middle of the field to the outside. So you have to roll him out. And then the both of you are going in the right direction towards the sideline so that if anything bad happens, it goes out of bounds. Like that's why the rollout exists. The rollout does not exist so that you can take professional quarterbacks, cut off half the field, give the defense an advantage, and throw it to the one guy that everyone on the planet Earth knows you're throwing to. Like, come on, man. There's
It
no
was not a
creativity.
winning play.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
I would agree with that.
Although
Bill
I'll tell
Cole,
you what I do like.
go ahead. Sure.
I do like trying to go get him to jump off sides. I did like that move. You had the timeout to burn. If you get a yard and a half closer, now all of a sudden I'm taking Freeman and I'm busting it right up and I'm getting it easy, right? So I do like that. I
Bill
thought
Cole
that
is
was
here.
more.
He is Bill Cole of Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy, of course. I don't have my coffee cup here. I'm wearing
Yes,
my Coon
not a
shirt. I
football
got
coach, right? Not a football coach, not a professional football coach. Like, take these opinions as for what they're worth.
no,
This is
dude.
some
I used to
reasoned
take
guy.
phone calls from idiots all day long. You're not an idiot. I mean, I'm having a sensible conversation here,
Yeah,
but there
I
is no
hear you.
sensible conversation that starts with fire the coach or
Right,
Tyler Huntley is somehow better than Lamar Jack. Stop.
right,
Just
right.
stop with that ish. I don't want to hear it this week. That's all.
Yeah, I don't. You think people are saying either of those two things?
I think foolish people are saying that. I think people
Okay.
that want to rev up phone calls on the Odyssey app, FM 1057, the fan.
Okay.
So
All right.
anyway, there you go. So
You
yes, I
asked
think
me about
I
how.
think that's what they've been
Right,
taking. I think at BAL they've been taking phone calls on this all week because they like stirring it up too. I've been listening. It's like
right.
if I worked there, there'd be morning meetings telling me to be a prick on the radio every day so that I could get the most outlandish, crazy opinions in, so we could talk about making Kyle Rittenhouse a hero. Smart things like that. Things that make sense in some quarters, but
So
not around here.
it is a weird Christmas. It does seem bizarre. It is marred with uh sort of this, like, again, maybe it's something that I've said multiple times. Um Very fractured opinions, right? And it grows more fractured probably by the day. So in the beginning, even if you were a non-believer, everyone still was very much aligned, right? Like, stay home and do this and don't do that. And
Well, there was nowhere
now,
to go, even if you were a
right,
non-believer.
right. And now, like, it's the full spectrum. And even for people who have been conservative for 21 months, right? And even people who do very much believe in it all and are concerned for the health and safety of others, even they are now hung up in the, well, I thought it was okay to go to the football game. So I went to the football game, and now I'm getting a phone call saying that Johnny at the tailgate, he tested positive on Monday. So you might want to, like,
Well,
watch
Johnny
yourself.
shouldn't have been double dipping French fries to begin with, right?
Or,
And
yeah,
I went to an event last Wednesday, dude. I went to an indoor event last Wednesday. Okay, the Baltimore Banner did this, so I'll shout them
where
out.
they were double dipping French fries.
Dude, it was a normal, and when I say normal, I mean really tight party. There were
Right.
too many people in
Yeah.
too small a space with too much buffet food,
Right.
with the workers wearing masks and everyone else just spitting on each other while they were eating nacho
Right.
chips and drinking martinis. And
Right.
I got a little skeeved out, even like the day or two after. I was like, I didn't test myself, but I felt like if there was ever a day to get tested, if I were
Yeah.
going to touch other people, you know what I mean? If I was in a
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
around
Sure.
other people
Right.
that I had to be around,
Well,
I
that
would
doesn't
have
do
been
you any
very
good.
uncomfortable because I was like, I felt like I had been a bad boy for the first time, that I'd really put myself in a position and in a room that I shouldn't have been in,
Were you
and I
wearing a
wouldn't do
mask
it
the whole
again.
time?
No, no,
Right.
no,
Right.
no.
Right. I know. And
It was a
I mean,
cocktail party to get to know people.
yes, like,
It's what it
life is.
was. It was the first one I went to
Right.
that was normal, but it was too normal and tight, even by like
Yeah.
Sex in the City, New York, 20 years ago standards of what a cocktail party would look
Right.
and feel like. It was tight like asses and elbows, and I'm like, this isn't safe. I mean, and if we were all, oh, by the way, you had to show Vax card when you showed up too. You know what I mean? Like they were adamant. They were politicians. They were
Okay.
serious people.
Right.
Governor was there. It was like a serious
Right.
event, right? And I'm
Oh, is
thinking
that
to
where he
myself,
got it?
no, the old governor.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just think that is how life is supposed to be, with the mask and all that. I'm curious. Well, the problem is, even if you test 2 days after that, because you were going to see grandma or whatever, there's it doesn't necessarily show up. It could, they say, to wait 3 to 5 days to get tested. So then you're rolling around just hacking up on everybody for like 3 or 4 days, and you don't even know.
But here's the deal. I think the popular opinion before Omicron, and this is straight up science. 90 days ago, to go to a party like that
Yeah.
where COVID's not flying around in the air and half the football team and there's a crisis. We're in a crisis again, like, period, right? 90 days ago, the idea would be we're throwing a party, we're doing it over at AVAM, we got space for 100 people, we'll invite 120, 30 won't
Right.
show, but then 140 show through the course of the night in
Right.
a
Right.
space where you should have 95, and there probably was always about 80 to 90 in the room, right? There,
Right.
people come and they go, and how you think about a party, right? You had a
Right.
party like this for your 100th anniversary down at
Yep.
the Museum of Industry, right?
Yep.
But this was a smaller space. But 60 days ago, you planned the party. You're like, look, we're going to be pricks about vaccination. I mean, they made
Right.
me show my card, right? I mean, like, they weren't letting me in. So
Right.
I get in. That's what the rules were in October, when chances are 100 people to get together, maybe none of them have COVID. I think right now, 100 people anywhere getting together, there would be COVID in the room. Like,
Oh,
I mean, this
totally.
week, this week, not
But
last week or a month
well,
ago, this week.
and I don't disagree. But along that line of science, if it's so much more significantly transmissible, I believe the theory says that it's less lethal, and that there is some amount of, like, you know,
Well, it's less lethal because we're vaccinated. We're
better
double vaxxed. I guess
mutation.
I got to get
No,
my
no, no,
my
no. Forget
third.
us. Forget us for a second. Just the mutation itself, right? As viruses mutate over time, their goal is to live forever. So they somehow, this is crazy DNA stuff, but right, like, it mutates in a way to be more transmissible and less lethal. Because if it gets more lethal, then they kill themselves out. So they, by default, I don't know why, like, become more transmissible, less lethal. I don't know what we're in right now, right? That doesn't mean that the more transmissible, less lethal version still doesn't
Well, if the less
attack,
lethal version only
doesn't
kills
attack.
400,000 this year instead
Right.
of 800,000 last year,
Right.
then that's less
Correct.
lethal.
Correct. Correct. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that that version doesn't uh still attack unvaccinated, or the people with weak immune systems, or the people over 65. Like, I
Dude,
don't know.
Dr.
I'm
Oz is
sure, right?
campaigning in Pennsylvania right now. A year and a half ago, he was talking about losing 2 to 3% of our children, and that some people might be able to stomach that, right? Like, that might be okay on a percentage basis to say this
The
many
other,
people are going to die, right?
yeah.
And the vaccine people think that there's chips and all sorts of crazy shit, but really, around the world, if you vaccinate 50 million people, a dozen of them are going to have some reaction and die from the vaccine, right? I mean, that's going to happen.
Yes, it just doesn't
It
help
doesn't
our
equal
case.
800,000.
It doesn't help our case when, you know, everyone that is getting COVID right now is already double vaxxed with the booster, and they're still getting it. So it just gives those people who are anti-vaxxers like ammunition. See, like, who cares? Even if you
Well,
have it,
the
it
other
doesn't
part of
matter.
this is like when, I have relatives who both contracted COVID 8 weeks ago. One of them wound up in the hospital for 5 days. And spouse gets it, was not hospitalized, whatever. Now they're like, see, it wasn't so bad. I'm like, you spent 5 days in the hospital. Like, are you out of your effing mind? And they're
Right.
still waving the red flag and
Right.
still, ivermectin,
Right. Well,
hydrochloroquine.
the other thing is, I was watching the news this morning, and they're talking about, the treatment pills that are coming, right? And, like, the minute you give treatment pills out, people aren't gonna get vaccinated anymore,
It's a morning
right?
after pill, right?
Exactly. Right. We know this. We know that's how people behave. Right. I don't have to be proactive. I can be reactive. The other thing I want to pick your brain or just plant a seed is, like, with the amount of at-home testing going on, how skewed are the testing numbers?
Well, nobody's reporting. If I had 10
Right.
tests today, I wouldn't be reporting that I'm clean. I'd be clean. I'd say it on the internet.
But that's
Hey,
what I'm
everybody,
saying.
come kiss
So,
me. I'm clean.
yeah, that's true too. I wasn't even really thinking about the clean side of that. I'm just thinking about, like, if they're freaking out about the number of positives and the number of tests that of people that are going to facilities, like, you go try and buy a at-home test in Falston, You can't find one. Like everyone has bought all of the at-home tests.
I had a
The
friend of
elementary,
mine spend the whole evening on Tuesday night in the clinic to
yeah,
get a test, going to the urgent care
yeah,
to get tested. They're not sick. They're at
right,
urgent care to get
right,
tested because they were flying on Wednesday morning to holidays.
right,
And the family said, "You're not coming in our house without a test." And
right.
he's like, "Well, where am I going to get a test?" Well, therein
Here,
lies
go to this
Christmas. Which
place.
Christmas song do you want
No,
to sing?
no, right.
Oh, come, all ye
Go to this
faithful,
place where
joyful
all the
and
people sitting in the
vaccinated.
lobby,
Yeah, what?
where all the people sitting in the lobby have some sort of ailment, and they all have some sort of sick. Like, go to this place to get a test so you can get on an airplane. Pick up the seven other viruses, right, that are not COVID in the lobby. Come onto the plane, share that with everyone. Get to the holidays, give everyone whatever's out there. I mean, it's
All
just
right,
so
so
bizarre.
I'm going to go
So
off. We got
bizarre.
to stop this right now because it's too negative. I want to go Christmas. Okay, can I put my hat back on, Bill? Bill
I don't
Cole
think
is
this is
here. Cole,
negative. I
tell me
think
what
we're
you do. Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy.
we do commercial roofing, which is, the thing over top of you in a commercial office space. We repair them, we replace them, we build new ones when they build new buildings. And then we look at that space and see if we can build a power plant up on top of that so you can stop paying the man and we can free you from that requirement.
Can you
So
get bats out of my attic? I don't have any. I'm just
I
asking
mean,
if I
we're
had them.
not necessarily like the right people to do that,
Right. Okay.
but if we happen to be in your attic and there happen to be bats, it's likely going to occur that we're going to try and get them out.
I appreciate you bringing a net. That's very nice. All right, so look, I'm gonna leave this on a good note in case we don't get together next week, and I hope we
Okay.
do, and I hope the Ravens are victorious, and we're talking about let's go beat the Rams, right?
Yeah, man.
So Christmas, and this is a serious question, right? Like, let's pretend you and I are at the mall. All right, let's say East Point Mall, okay? And Santa's in the middle, right by the great cookie. Shout out Jason Fruman. Snickerdoodles for me, thank you. A little crispy, be nice. I'll warm them up. Um, and you get to sit on Santa's lap right now. Like, look, man, you're a grown ass man. You got a family. You got, work issues, COVID issues, family tree issues. Who's buying the ham at Wise? You got all that. Is there one thing somebody could buy you, either for a dollar or you can say a boat if you want, right? It wouldn't matter.
Right.
That you could get an item, not a gift card,
Yeah, I
right?
get you.
I mean, is there one
It's very
stupid
easy.
thing that I
Yeah,
could
it's
give
very
you that
easy.
would make,
Yeah,
in my case, like I don't need underwear this year. I don't need
yeah.
socks. I'm good. What could I
Yeah.
get you?
I would like a bundle of roofing insulation. like like this is a product that I used to get in 2 weeks that I now have to wait 13 months to get.
Oh,
And it's the linchpin in all of our guys' ability to give whatever that special item is to their kid, right? Like if we don't have this product, we
we can't
can't
make money.
work. We
Right.
can't do anything. And that's what's killing it. I mean, that's what's killing us. And we've been lucky. Like we've pieced it together for the last 6, 7 months to keep all our guys going. Um, but we're in an expansion period where like if like I have enough work that I could hire more guys if I could get the product. And that's why co-roofing exists, right? For 100 years is we give meaningful work to our neighbors in Baltimore. Like this is a meaningful, honorable craft.
Everybody
It's
needs a
hard,
roof.
it's hard ass work, right? But it is an honorable craft. And without the products, like it's just, I don't know, man. It's pretty demoralizing coming
Man,
out
I
of
was
the
trying to pick us
COVID.
up here for Christmas. I mean, I
Sorry.
was literally. Do you want to ask me that question? Like what I really want?
What do you really want, Ness? What can I get you?
So I told my wife a couple years ago. I have a Led Zeppelin belt buckle that I got at KB Toy Store at East Point Mall. And when I got it, I don't want to say I was the biggest Led Zeppelin fan, but like In Through the Outdoor had just come out. It was like 80, 81. So the belt buckles were like Kansas, Boston, Leonard Skinner, and you know the logos I'm talking about. Fog Hat, right? They all had a rock and roll heart. Heart had that beautiful red, logo that looked perfect when you were throwing darts at the East Point Carnival, right? and you would win the mirror. Remember the mirror,
Yeah, the
Saturday Night
frame
Fever,
glass,
all that, right?
sure. Yeah,
So
yeah,
right,
yeah.
first time I ever heard Phil Collins in the air tonight, right there. So I got my Led Zeppelin belt buckle, and I've had it for 41 years now. I think I got it Christmas 80, 81, probably 80, right when Bonham died, I think.
I know what you want. You want me to take your Led Zeppelin belt buckle and turn it into a big giant
No,
golden
no, 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 no. I
necklace.
don't want
So
one of
you can.
those. No, no, not Miami bling. No, 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 no.
Oh,
I don't.
really?
I don't
For
need.
every
No, 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 no.
interception, you get the Led
So
Zeppelin.
if you go and you Google this, you'll see there were a whole collection of belt buckles of that era. Yes
Oh,
had that great YES. There's a Genesis one from that era. You know all the prog rock bands. There's a Styx one from that era with the great Styx logo from Cornerstone. So I've decided that my next crazy purchase, and it's probably a $60 to $90 item depending on what condition you get it in on the internet. My wife got me a Rush one that's not the original one. It's like it's a really good looking one. I like it a lot. I'm not against it, but it's a knockoff. You know, it's a knockoff, right? It's not like an
oh,
original Bowman card or a Topps card or a Gowdy card. I want to get an original Van Halen belt buckle. That's it.
oh.
That's it. So and you can say I'll shoot my eye out. That's fine. Do whatever. But if I get to do my Red Ryder BB gun, that I get to ask for something, I'm asking for an original Van Halen belt buckle. There's like
You want the hot rod? You want the hot rod belt buckle?
no,
The
no, no.
vintage.
It's got a
That's
different name. Give me the name.
okay.
It's I'll tell you that. God, now you're gonna make me Google it. Come on, don't make me
I,
Google it. It's from the early 80s. It's an antique, man. Van Halen belt buckle,
this looks
1980.
like.
Hold on. I'll tell you what it was. I'll show you the belt buckle. This is totally it. This is a ripoff of it, but, this can't be real. That's not it's 1695. You know what? I would take it as fake, but I would prefer the real one, if you want to see it. Here, hold
Are you
on.
gonna show me or not?
Yes, I'm going to show it to you. So this is the knockoff over here, and this is the real one right here.
Uh,
It's Pacifica. It's Pacifica. It's 180 bucks. This is the original one right here, and it's kind of ugly. I've decided I don't want it. So after that, there. Merry Christmas. I
yeah,
don't need it. How
I
about
agree.
that?
I don't think you need that.
But that's the original though. Get the knockoff at 16.95. My wife did that with Rush. It's better looking. Merry
Uh,
Christmas to you, Bill. My needs are small. I need a $17 item. I just want a Van Halen belt buckle. That's all I want for Christmas.
I understand.
And world peace and a booster shot on Monday.
Yeah.
Hope you have a
Well,
good
I
Christmas,
hope you
dude.
enjoy it, brother. Yeah, man. Stay good.
You didn't like my Van Halen bit, huh?
I did. I do.
You
I
thought I
don't
was going to
know.
ask for Journey, didn't you?
No, I belt buckle. Like it just I don't know. I just have never been a belt buckle guy. I don't I mean I get it. I could
I didn't
could
ask
be
for a swatch or something. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
could be a belt buckle guy. I just have
what's the
never
best Christmas gift you ever got? Come on.
Nintendo,
All right, there you go. So
you
it's
know.
always the stupid gifts. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bill, I love you. Keep the roofs clean. Keep the coal out of the stocking, and put some cookies out for Santa. He likes them. All right.
Yes, sir, brother.
Bill
Be
Cole,
good.
Cole Roofing, Gordian Energy. He's out. I'm in. We are WNST, AM 1570. Wishing you ho 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 happy holidays and all your wishes come true. Even if you get the knockoff belt buckle, it's cheaper and better looking.